For a relatively young person, John Ledwidge has already experienced many highs and lows of groundsmanship. We get the opportunity to talk about his early years as an apprentice at Aston Villa, his move to Coventry, through to his recent promotion to grounds manager at Leicester City. Despite receiving calls of a knighthood from outside of the industry, John has received a lot of criticism from within. In this exclusive Turf Matters interview, John speaks openly about his iconic pitch designs, raising the profile of the industry, and hits back against the criticism. But first, let's talk about the early years and how he first came into the industry.
My career really started when I was 13. I wanted to be a footballer actually as a child, and unfortunately I didn't have the physique. I was quite a chubby, fat little child, and I loved food pretty much as I loved football. So as most kids, or even most grown men, they want to get on the pitch, and that was where I first discovered groundsmanship. I wrote a letter to the groundsman at the time at Coventry City at Highfield Road, and got some work experience. But for me it was just an opportunity to get on the pitch, and that was the main goal. But from the minute I stood on the pitch, I just fell in love with everything about groundsmanship, and the more and more that went on, the more and more I ended up stalking the groundsman pretty much at the time. Every given chance, holiday, after school, any opportunity that there was a game for me to go up to the stadium and see what the groundsmen were doing, that's what I did. So I did work experience then at 15 at the football club, at the training ground this time, and off the back of that I was offered a job when I left school, and left school with like 3 A's and 7 B's at GCSE, and the teachers were screaming at me not to go into this because they all knew what I was doing. They all knew exactly what I'd chosen to do, and but my mind was made up. So they had embarked on the apprenticeship at 16. Very rapidly got through my level 2 and level 3. By the time I was 19, I was put in charge of the training ground at the time, and I was deputising to the head groundsman then, Michael Finch at the time, and I was 19 years old and in effect running 3 sites when the boss was off, and I had the day-to-day operation of the training ground to contend with. So it was a real steep learning curve, but realistically I've been in it since I was 13, so it was quite a nice progression for me to undertake, and spent some great time at Coventry and really sort of cut my teeth there, learnt things the hard way, learnt things the good way, really sort of excelled myself through the apprenticeship and learning on the job, and that side of it I really enjoyed as much as actually physically doing the work. And then at 22 I got the opportunity to go to Aston Villa, because I got as far as I felt I could at Coventry at the time. My boss wasn't going anywhere, so the opportunity for me to work in the Premier League underneath Jonathan Calderwood, managing the training facility that they just had built at the time, was a great opportunity for me, and one that I seized, and probably one of the best decisions I made. Working under Jonathan and working for Aston Villa, I really learned a thing or two about refinement and standards and attention to detail, and certainly them things I still carry with me today, and I'm always grateful, and I always speak very highly of Jonathan Calderwood, because he taught me a lot, not only in terms of the standards I just said and the attention to detail, but also how to manage, because he was probably one of the best man managers I've worked for. He worked exceptionally hard. He had a great balance of getting you what you needed, the resource, and he created a really good model at Aston Villa, and something that, again, lessons that I've brought with me as I've moved on through my career. And I spent 14 months at Aston Villa, learning so much, a real steep learning curve there, until the opportunity came for me to be a head groundsman. And that was the opportunity I was given at the Ricoh Arena.